All right, so today we're talking about interviews.
How do I answer behavioral interview questions and tough questions where I have to tell specific stories in my answers?
For the last, I would say, decade, everybody has talked about this STAR model. Situation, you talk about kind of to describe what's happening. T is the task, what were you asked to do? A is the action, what action did you take? And then R is what's the result, right? Really what you're being told to do is tell a story. What's happening, set the stage, what happened, what was the challenge, and then what was the outcome, right? Pretty simple. But that doesn't tell you what you should actually be describing, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. As an interviewee, you have to remember that an interviewer really has a crappy memory. The idea that the interviewer is going to really comprehend and understand and remember every little intricacy in what you said it's just not going to happen. It just mentally, no one has the capacity to go through an hour-long interview with you and remember really the true content of what you've discussed. But what they do remember is how you made them feel, what sort of global themes there are in all of your responses. And so that's what I would encourage you to think about. If you're applying for a job, think about the role, think about the company, think about the manager, and try and figure out what are the 3 traits that they want in a new hire. Identify what those are. So let's just say hypothetically, you think that for this role, let's just say it's a sales role, they want you to be good with people, they want you to be structured and process-oriented, and they want you to be, an out-of-the-box thinker, innovative. In every response to every single question, you should find a way to describe yourself as innovative, a creative thinker, tactical, and also someone who is good with people. If you do that for an hour-long interview, and every question there's in some way something pointing to those 3 qualities, at the end of the interview, they're not going to remember exactly what you said, but they're going to go, you know what, that person really seemed pretty organized and process-oriented. I think this person's pretty good with people, and I like the fact that the solutions that he discussed were all pretty creative. Okay, so let's just say it is a sales job. Let's just say it's a sales job in the pharmaceutical industry. You're going to be a pharmaceutical rep. And the interview question is, tell me about a time that you struggled to build a relationship with a physician. You could answer something like this. As a sales rep, I really make an effort to be systematic in how I navigate my territory. So I truly write down a list of every single prescriber in my territory, and then I identify the top 10 prescribers. Who are the doctors that are going to make the biggest impact on my bottom line? I try and connect with every single doctor at least once a month, but those that fit in that top 10%, I make an effort to touch base, have some kind of contact with them, whether in person, phone, email, some kind of contact at least twice a month. So there was a doctor who had no interest in connecting with me. I kept reaching out. I was very organized about it, just sort of repeatedly pinging him, but he didn't like the pharmaceutical industry, didn't think he could learn anything from me, and so I was just making no traction. And this particular doctor wasn't my traditional approaches of setting up, lunches or, dropping off materials. Those things weren't working for him. And so I tried to think about, well, who is this doctor? And I tried to, I'm thinking about how do I develop a relationship with him? And I realized that doctor really missed, he was working in private practice now, and he really missed working in academia, and he valued his academic mind and wanted to make a contribution there. So what I did was I tried to think out of the box and come up with a creative solution, and that was to create a journal club. And I asked that doctor if he would mind facilitating the first couple journal clubs, right? So he would present the most recent research on, the topic, whatever industry it is, or whatever field it is, do a topic on respiratory, for example. And as this doctor could talk about the most recent research, it would sort of scratch that itch for him of, again, being an expert in that academic world. And so by doing that, the doctor all of a sudden shifted his mindset away from viewing me as somebody that was trying to constantly sell him our product, but as someone that could help him, develop his brand as a researcher and a thinker in the medical community. And so by doing that for years, our relationship has really grown. And so now, not only do I still lead that journal club with him, but I go for runs with him in the morning, our families connect, and we've developed a very strong relationship, which for me as a sales rep is really what I'm looking for. Now, the interviewers are not going to remember exactly what I said, but they're going to leave there thinking, man, David sure is relationship oriented, pretty organized, and super creative. And that's how you ace an interview.